Day 561, 22 for 22. Good morning. I hope this finds you well. Please stay in your fight and do not quit. All right, so yesterday we talked about not being self-defeating. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the number one way to not do that. And that is accepting and adapting to your new normal. We all have had circumstances that have put us in the situation we're in right now. And a lot of that has to do with the change from being in the military and not being in there, or it can be family problems. It can be so many different problems. But the number one thing we have to do is accept that that situation is occurring, and what are we going to do about it? If it's a full-on life change, you've got to find a way to operate successfully within it. If it is a broken up relationship, you've got to figure out how to operate within that successfully too. We could find ourselves on the edge of that cliff quick and in a hurry, and we have to recognize that we're heading that direction, and what are we going to do to stop from getting there? And part of that is accepting the new normal. You know, for me personally, got to accept that I am not the grunt that I used to be. There's no way in hell I could put on a 100-pound ruck and walk 20 miles like I did back in the day. Just not physically able to do that. I could probably put the 100-pound ruck on, but then guess what? I'm going to get about 20 feet and drop dead. I've got to face that I have another surgery coming up in the next 3, 5, 7, 10 years, supposedly, because this valve is only good for 15 to 20 years. I had it put in 2005, so I have 2020 as my 15-year mark. So that's another thing I got to face. I got to face that I am not as physically fit as I want to be. I walk. I do about 4 miles a day. The circumstances I found myself in 2002 through 2006 no longer exist. The remnants and trace what do I want to use? The vestiges of that life still exist. I do have an 18-year-old daughter. I still have an ex. I've got a couple of those. But the bottom line is we are the sum of all of our experiences. I've said that before. And we have to deal with what we are in currently, with all that baggage, all the damage, everything that's happened to us. We've got to address it. We can't just cast it aside, because then it'll just jump back on when we least expect it and mess us up. So the best thing you can do, in my opinion, and it is my opinion, it's not scientific fact, or I'm not endorsed by the American Medical Association or anything like that, but coming from that situation myself, the best thing that you can do is adapt to where you're at now. And it may suck. I'll be honest with you. I loved being a grunt. I wanted to be a grunt. I never wanted to stop being a grunt. Hell, I went to Special Forces Assessment Selection because I hated being that sort of person so much that I wanted to become the top tier. Obviously, that didn't happen. It is what it is. I can't change it. But what I can do is do something like this and provide the leadership and the motivation that I did back in the day, at least try to accomplish your mission, and that's to live the most successful life that you can at this point. Your new normal may not be ideal, but you can learn to operate successfully and at least somewhat happily inside it. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some compromise on your part. It's going to take thought and thinking about how you're going to get to where you want to be within your new normal. The only choice, you have a few choices. There's one you absolutely should not choose, and that would be suicide. You can choose to accept where you're at, work within it, and be happy. Or you can choose to accept it and be miserable. Or, in the third choice, you shouldn't even consider. Now, I'll go off on a bit of a tangent here. I ended up on the edge of the cliff because everything in my life had collapsed. I've said that before. Everything in my life, my career, my health, and my family that I had collapsed and just put me in a dark place. Now, I said this before, you're not alone, especially in this day and age of social media, Facebook, WhatsApp or whatever, all these different chat places. You can definitely find somebody that is willing to talk to you and get you back on the right footing, and then work towards accepting the new normal and working through the issues, taking the time to come up with a plan on what you're going to do to, see your kids or find purpose. There's so many things that you can do to learn and adapt inside your new normal, and learn to do it and actually do it successfully. It's not an impossibility. You are not so unique that you cannot adapt to where you're at. Now, is that saying everything's going to be friggin' pleasant? It's going to get fixed in 24 hours? No. It took me 14 years to operate with it, I knew my purpose. It took me 14 years to actually get into it and actually do it. And gotta say, feels pretty good. Now, I've been searching, and it took a long time to figure out where, how, the who, what, where, when, how, and why. Well, I knew the why. But my new normal didn't allow me to do what my normal purpose would have been. So all I'm saying is be a sponge, absorb everything you can, and figure out where you're at, and figure out how you can operate successfully in the situation that you're in. It can be done. We came out of a military that prides itself in showing initiative and pushing and overcoming our problems when there's no one around telling us what to do. That's how we operate. Now you can do the same thing. You can pull that training and that attitude, that can-do attitude from what you did in the military, and put it to use in your regular life. Just because you got out doesn't mean you lose who you are. You can find that again. It took me a while, but I got back there, and it feels good. All right, time for some push-ups. And once again, nobody made it outside. Spider web, yay, in the face. Hate those things. At least I didn't kung fu fight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 1 for the airborne ranger in the sky. 1 for the infantry. 1 for fallen. Selfish plug. YouTube, _push-up_guy tough. Twitter, @thatpush-up-guy. Instagram, @that push-up-guy. Did I say Twitter? Twitter @guy-push-up. Facebook, Jim Tough, in 27 Facebook groups. Like I said, I'm not sure what the deal is, but I'm having issues getting them all in. Admins of the groups that, or even members, if you can post this in the groups you're in, I'd appreciate it. If you need help, seek help. Get it from friends, family, professionals. There is absolutely no shame in seeking help. Get the help you need to be here. Bottom line is, do not use suicide as a permanent solution to a temporary or permanent problem. You got this. We'll see you here tomorrow. Tough out.